as soon as we heard the blast and we knew that the people there needed help, my colleagues and I rushed to the ER to find that there was actually nothing left out of the hospital. The hospital was actually in pieces, and the patients were, we transformed actually the parking lot of the hospital into a hospital itself. The people were panicking, the staff. We had a lot of staff who were badly injured, and they had to take care of the patients who were inside the emergency room, in the ICU. We had the pediatric ICU that was filled with neonates. We had also COVID patients in the floors.
This is our apartment in Beirut. These used to be balcony doors. They are completely blown off. This is some of my daughter's toys and books. When the blast hit, I was standing here in the apartment, about here. When the blast hit, I was taking my daughter to the bathroom. Came out to call my colleagues and see if we could figure out what happened. And my daughter came out from the doorway here behind us. She said, "Daddy, what was that?" And I turned and the blast hit me from behind. I was standing looking to the back here. You can see the windows behind me, and the blast came from behind. I threw myself on top of her on the ground. The blast engulfed us. Wood, glass, debris, unlike any other blast, anything I've ever experienced. I don't know how we survived, especially after seeing what happened to my neighbor.
So I was going to close the balcony. So as I was closing the balcony, it blew in my face. I saw the white smoke.
You did.
And it threw me like 5 meters, 6 meters, all the way across the living room.
Oh my gosh. This is what Beirut looks like in this neighborhood. Just blocks and blocks of shattered cars. This is basically right across from the blast site. This is the epicenter of the blast, these buildings. We took the full brunt of the shockwaves that decimated the city. This is the recovery work going on here. This is the Wall Street Journal office in Beirut on the top floor there. It's the first time I'm seeing it actually. Windows are blown out. This is just kind of the culmination of frustration that so many people have with this country. We moved here last September, right before anti-government protests swept this nation. People thought it might be the beginning of some new change. That was followed by the coronavirus pandemic and a shutdown. People followed, kept it in check for a while, but led to economic devastation. And then the economic collapse here, the currency collapsed, massive hyperinflation on the scale of Venezuela swept the country, power outages here up to 22 hours a day, and now this.
this is ground zero. And the people in blue that you can see are members of the Russian search and rescue team. Now, they have just arrived within the last half hour or so. We came in with them, and they are going to make as thorough a search as they possibly can underneath this pile of destroyed grain. That they are standing on one of the columns of the silo that contained the country's grain supplies. Because of this destruction caused by the explosion, that means that the country has less than a month's supply of grain. But apart from the food insecurity problems that are inevitably going to be rolled out as a result of this disaster, there are also possibly people underneath that. We have spoken to a member of the Lebanese civil defence who's been working here since the explosion happened. He said if anyone was around on top of the ground, they didn't survive. Everything was obliterated. They haven't even been able to recover bodies from here, just parts of limbs. But underneath, he said, the maps show there is an underground